Great. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the Tucson-Pima County Historical Commission Plans Review Subcommittee meeting of Tuesday, July 15th, 2025, called to order at 1:02 p.m. And I will go ahead and do roll call. Terry Majewski is here. Andrew Christopher.
Here.
Savannah McDonald.
Here.
And Joel Ireland, and he is not here, I believe. Okay. Item 2 is review and approval of the June 26, 2025 legal action report / meeting minutes. Could I have a motion to approve as submitted, please?
I'll move to approve the legal action report for the meeting of 6/26/2025 as submitted.
Thank you. Andrew, will you second?
Yep, I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? If not, let's go ahead and vote. Terry votes aye. Savannah?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Thank you. It passes 3-0. All right. Item 3 is the summary of public comments, and this is information only. Were any submitted by the posted deadline, Desiree?
No, Chair Majewski, we did not receive any public comments for this meeting.
Great, thank you. I'll note that there were none submitted. Item 4 are historic preservation review cases. We review these under UDC section 5.8/TSM 9-02.0/historic district design guidelines and the revised Secretary of the Interior standards and guidelines. Case 4A SD 0823-00090/TC-RES 0923-07805/CE-VIO 1124-04627 at 717 North 7th Avenue. These are duplex units to replace all existing doors and windows, covering the brick wall with stucco. It's a full review. It's a contributing resource. Desiree, do you have any background for us?
Yes, so this case is a couple years old now. It did come before you. So there's the main house and then the secondary duplex in the rear. So the work on the main house has already been permitted and approved. Work has already been done. So this is concerning the duplex in the rear. When you all initially saw it, this duplex was identified as a contributing property to the West University Historic District. Since then, additional research found that it was built outside of the period of significance. So there was an updated inventory form sent to SHPO. SHPO concurred that it was not a contributor, and it was sent to the keeper, and the keeper confirmed it was not a contributor. So essentially, it's no longer a contributor. And so the applicant is requesting approval of the plan submitted in the design package, and it includes windows, and we have the applicant here, so I'll let him walk through the proposal. But the work has already been done on the building, and so hence why there was a code enforcement case on this. The work has been done. However, given that the new information that it's not a contributor, the findings are that these materials are appropriate. The case went to West University, and I'll read their motion. Let's see. The West University recommended approval of the plans as presented with the following conditions or updates. Ensure that windows on the duplex are metal-clad wood, and that the 4 doors on duplex to be painted fiberglass.
So in the email you sent us, it's just the duplex items, which are those 2?
Right. Yes. So we, at the West University, we did discuss the main house, but that was an error because that work has already been approved, stamped, and done. So we're just looking at the work on the duplex. And the recommendation from WUSAP was metal clad wood and painted fiberglass doors.
Right, and I have a question. So the historic documentation has been updated to remove the contributing designation for all buildings other than the main residence? So,
Correct. So just the duplex was listed as now a non-contributor, but the main house remains a contributing property.
okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you. So who will be presenting on this?
Hi, my name's Eric Wiest. My father and I are the owners of this property. Just wanted to clarify, we came in and purchased the property earlier this year. So that was the work and bypassing kind of the process was done under the previous owner. So we're just trying to get everything kind of sorted out on our end after acquiring the property. So
Oh, I understand. Eric, could you do me a favor? Could you spell your last name for me, please?
yep, it's Wiest.
Wiest?
Correct. Yep.
Great, thanks, because you just have Eric W on your square there, your rectangle. Um, okay. All right. Go ahead and if you could keep your presentation to, let's say, 10 minutes or less, and then we can ask questions and make our motion. And let's hold our questions, PRS members, until Eric is finished. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
As Desiree mentioned, the work has been done. The property was in pretty rough disrepair when it was purchased by the previous owner. And he has stated that there was bricks that had been painted, but they were also crumbling and falling apart. And that, part of the structure was actually just plywood. So for that reason, he felt that it would be best for this structure to put up the stucco. So that back duplex has been stuccoed. It did have tile shingles on the exterior porch over the wood doors. That's been replaced with corrugated metal that will rust. And again, that was an initial issue because these were contributing properties, or it was a contributing structure. But now that it was found to be outside of that contributing period, that rusting metal is in line with what's on. There's actually one other structure there that's a casita on the property as well. And so everything with this property matches what was done on the casita. So there's fiberglass doors, there's wood double hung windows, and then the stucco on the exterior. So those are the three things I think that are on the permit to be approved.
Okay. Do you have other images to show us, or? Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see here, these are the fiberglass doors that are on the duplex structure, and then the corrugated metal roofing.
Okay, and you propose to, the fiberglass doors are painted, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And this, what you're showing right here, that's the existing conditions prior to the installation of the new windows?
Yep. Correct.
And so that's sort of an attempt at getting that same blue back?
Yes. Yep. Matching what was there.
Okay. Okay, do you want to say anything more about any of the images, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think I hit on it. Those are the three main things. It's all in line with kind of matching with the main structure that is the historical structure, the main house. It's very similar stucco, very similar color scheme or identical color scheme.
I'm sorry, you may have mentioned this. What is the, what type of stucco is it? What's the finish?
That I'm not sure. Again, this work was done prior to my ownership, so I can't tell you exactly what kind of stucco it was.
Okay, Desiree, when you were out there, did you see it?
I don't recall the finish of the stucco. And
Okay.
I don't know if we
There's
have photos.
Last page, maybe second to last page, shows a sand finish.
Oh, yeah,
medium.
sorry.
Yeah.
It just was
There you go.
zooming by me and I missed it earlier, but then I forgot, so I had to ask the question again. Okay, is that it right
Oh,
there?
there
The
we go.
Yep.
gray medium stucco finish.
Yep, that's what's
medium.
there.
Okay. All right. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Who would like to start?
I can go. I have one question, mostly because we've got the elevations of the rehab, which show it looks like the porches were existing and then it was just the roofing material that was replaced. But in the NRHP continuation sheet, which gives us evidence of the work already in place, it looks like those porches were rebuilt. So I'm just curious about that. The double post with the little detail is kind of funky neat, and I'm sad to see that go. I don't think we have much control over that, but I guess I just want to understand that better.
Yeah, I'm not. I have no insight as to whether those porches were original or not. I will say that there are some back doors to the right unit here that they've got kind of identical porches in the back with overhangs, and the wood posts that are there are pretty twisted, which makes me think that they're kind of the original posts. That may not be the case, but to me, I would not assume someone would put a post that twisted. So I think they've just been painted over. I again have no insight on the concrete work that was done or if that was there already.
I was mostly meaning the they had like double posts with the infill detail.
The sort of crossed pieces
Mm-hmm.
of wood. Yeah, if you go back, you'll be able to see it, Eric.
Okay.
It's on the elevations, and then it's in some of the existing photos too. One of
Oh,
the
I got.
photos shows it
I
like
see what
missing,
you're
and then
saying.
one shows it
Yeah,
still.
there it
Yeah,
is.
that.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Just
that's no longer there.
on
Oh,
all
too
four
bad.
porches.
So Eric, it was removed from all four porches? The back?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, what you saw in those original photos, the newer ones up top, though, that's what's there currently. I never saw it with the details on there, unfortunately.
Okay.
It does seem like the plan that what was done and what the plans show are in conflict. I don't know if that is something to think about or talk about, but
Yeah, and
For me-
I will note, so this design package was submitted by the previous owner. So we've kind of transferred the application from the previous owner to the new owner. The new owner has not engaged a new architect that I'm aware of or draftsperson. So I do recommend the plans be updated to reflect, what is what we see, right, or what is ultimately approved. So that's just a note that the design package is a bit old.
okay.
Yeah, so basically, Savannah or Andrew, whoever makes the motion, we could mention to update the design package, because in the future, when none of us are around doing this anymore, no one will remember, and I think it's good to have an accurate record, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, do you have anything else, Savannah?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrew?
No, nothing from me.
Okay, who would like to make a motion?
I can do it. Do we want to talk about it first? I mean, I think that the only condition is just that design package be updated. But do you guys
And
think?
then, do we want to mention about the conditions? Well, because the new design shows the wood-clad windows, right?
Yeah, I
And
think those were the two conditions I think
metal clad,
were
yeah.
updated in the package, or they're called out in the package, so.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
says
yeah.
new double hung window, and then it does show a double hung window, which is
Metal
a wood
clad wood.
type. Yeah. So I think that's covered in what we're looking at.
And then the painted fiberglass doors on the duplex, all 4 of them. Yeah, so I think you're right. I think sometimes when these come and they're sort of staggered and how they, so when they're violations and things are not really, the votes are kind of weird. Like basically we're accepting the new plans because that's what was done. Plus we might want to mention that, to update the design package to reflect what was actually
installed.
changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Let's be constructed. Okay. On the matter of SD-0023-00090/TC-RES, a long one, -0923-07805/CE-BI 01124-04627 at 717 North 7th Avenue. I move to recommend approval of the project as presented, including the condition to update the design package to reflect what was constructed.
I will second.
Thank you. I just wanted to note that I think in that long description of what the case number is, I think it's VIO instead of 0.
Oh,
That's fine. It just, it took me a while. I think it stands for violation.
I think you're right. Sorry about
But,
that.
but then I compared it with the zeros. I always check that because I'm always like wondering. So, okay, that's my only discussion. Any further discussion? Okay, if not, let's go ahead and vote. I vote aye. Andrew?
Aye.
Savannah?
Aye.
Great, thank you. So the case passes 3-0 unanimously. Eric, do you have any questions about the way forward, or will you and Desiree work that out?
I'll follow up with Desiree so I can get everything sorted out. But thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Sure, and she can explain the timeline for you and where our recommendation goes and so forth.
Okay.
So, okay,
Sounds
thank you
good.
very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to case 4B then, which is SD-042.00057/TD-DEV-0225-00044 at 1046 East Broadway Boulevard. Parcels 124-1200060 and 124-12005A. The applicant seeks to reconfigure the parking lot of an existing smoke shop. PRS may provide comments on the proposed project. This is a courtesy review under the UOD plus the Sunshine Mile National Register Historic District. It's a contributing resource. I imagine the smoke shop is, and we're using the rehabilitation standards. Desiree, do you have any background for us?
I don't have any real background on this project. So yeah, as a courtesy review, it's a newer case, so I will just hand it over to the applicant.
Okay, and who is our applicant?
Richard Macias. Macias.
Thank you, Richard. And again, if you could stick to 10 minutes or less, and then we will discuss. And again, commissioners, it's a courtesy review, so we'll just be providing feedback.
Oh, okay. Should I share my screen or should I
Yes,
just
please.
talk there? Okay. Participation. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. So do you see? Let me see. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah, we can see the screen now.
Okay, you see the contributing and the development map, the
Yes.
development zone map. Okay. So yeah, this project is. I'm a civil engineer. I'm running the development package for this project, and this project is located at the southwest corner of Broadway Boulevard and Fremont Avenue. And as you can see, yeah, the existing smoke shop building is contributor, and there are 2 existing storage buildings that are designated as non-contributing. And see, I'll show you guys an elevation. So this is the north elevation of this existing smoke shop. And that's looking south off of Broadway. And along the frontage of Broadway, you could see this is part of the recent Broadway Boulevard improvement project. So we've got some new landscaping, sidewalks, and ramps in that area. And really all we're doing here on this project is reconfiguring this parking area so that it meets city code and ADA. We're not removing or replacing any pavement surfaces. We're not touching any exteriors to any of the buildings. It's really just a restriping job and, you know, adding some wheel stops here, some bicycle parking, a ramp. Also along Fremont, we're required to put this 5-foot sidewalk along the existing curb. So there's some improvements along Fremont, ramp here. But other than that, that's all we got. And I submitted the package, the development package back in February, and we got very minimal comments. I think we had like 2 comments, maybe 3, and one of them was this review. So we're eager to get this back in for approval.
Well, I have a question.
Oh, and let me show you the landscape plan. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, here's a landscape plan, and you can see that we're providing landscaping around the new parking area. So, which currently doesn't have anything except what's out here, what I showed you along the right of way.
Okay,
Did,
so go ahead, Andrew.
Did this come to us as a courtesy review because the applicant requested it, or is there?
Now it's a parking reconfiguration. It falls into full review under the overlay.
It does.
Yeah. According to
Oh,
Michael.
okay.
Yeah.
Huh, okay. Are
Yeah.
you utilizing the Sunshine Mile overlay to deal with any like deviations to normal UDC requirements?
No.
No.
There's no.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I'm just confused why we're.
Yeah, I didn't
Are we-
understand it either. I double checked with Michael on that, and he confirmed that yeah, parking reconfiguration falls into a full review. So I submitted a design package, and
But we appreciate it. Sometimes in this area, so it's interesting that we should be reviewing your project that doesn't need review, and then there's other projects that should be reviewed that we don't review. So it's very confusing, but they opt out sometimes. So I was going to ask a question. So in that area where you have to be put in the sidewalk,
here
that-
along Fremont.
Yeah, what did that have before? Nothing? Is it just? was it
Nothing,
just-
yeah, it's just curb and pavement, existing asphalt. I'll, see if I have it.
Is it also at
Yeah.
the top of the screen too? Is that gonna be the new sidewalk or is it just that whole area?
This is, yeah, this is existing. This is part of the
Existing?
Broadway. Yeah, this is part of the Broadway Boulevard Improvement Project. Everything
Okay.
in the right of way. Except here, we're connecting here.
Okay. So, commissioners, the addition of that sidewalk doesn't impact the smoke shop landscape, does it?
No, not in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a service center historically too, so I doubt it had much anything besides asphalt at any point. So
I mean, I think wasn't it to drive through like under the overhang and then out onto Fremont? It was there's a curb cut there and everything.
There was, yeah, there was, and we're replacing that curb cut. We're only gonna
Oh,
have
okay.
this, we're only gonna have this entrance, which is being used right now to roll out the dumpsters. That's how they do it right now. Really, nothing else is changing.
Can all
Okay,
that
go ahead.
asphalt on that east edge go away then?
All this
Yeah.
existing asphalt,
Yeah.
um,
Is that to remain? Is that just gonna?
well, yeah, it's just to remain. We didn't see a reason why to. It's in the right of way. I don't.
Okay. I mean, that was my only comment. It just seems like a lot of asphalt that could go away and be planting areas, right? Or pervious material.
Could be. I don't know if that would be a DOT project or. I don't know.
Is the property
Yeah.
line the dark line?
Yeah,
On
yeah. We're right up against the property line.
Yeah, it's probably an easement or it's a DOT and that would be a thorny thing. That they
but you're
would,
already, but all the sidewalk would be under all the same.
Yeah, they're making us do the sidewalk for sure. Like any other project, if you have an existing curb and no sidewalk, they'll make you, they make you put the sidewalk in. We could probably remove the asphalt, but as far as planting and landscaping, I don't know, John,
What if-
do you have any input on that? Maybe not.
so who
Can you-
else
can
is
you hear me?
presenting with you? Who is that?
This is John
John
Huckle,
Huckle?
the landscape architect on the project. The only thing I would recommend there, since it's, I believe it's City of Tucson right away or property, would be for dust control, erosion control, just a decomposed granite, but
Yeah, I
again,
was
it's
gonna
not
suggest
the
that,
owner's
yeah.
property.
That sounds great to me. I don't think this is our purview at all, but I just like the idea of that. But
No,
I mean,
but I think, yeah,
outside
I
of
think
that,
it's
I
great.
think everything else seems fine.
Yeah, and that storage building over there on the right or left-hand side of the photo, sort of to the right of the C3 designation,
Right here,
that's
yeah.
the storage bays that you talked about, right?
Correct, yeah,
Oh,
non-contributing.
okay. Sorry, yeah. And one other question, so Richard, is AZ Realty Design your company that you work for?
Correct.
Okay, and John, do you also work for them?
I do not. I have my own consulting company, John Huckle Landscape Architecture.
Okay, the reason I ask is just for the minutes.
You got it.
So that we don't put something, wacky in. Or I find something on Google that represents you 5 years ago and put that down.
Well,
So.
it's a wacky smoke shop.
No, so, but I mean, that's very fascinating. Anyway, so those are my questions. Anyone else have anything?
no, I'm good.
Savannah, you're good? And again,
Yeah.
I like the idea of DG if you can put it in that spot. Get
Yeah,
rid
I'll-
of some, pavement. It's just too hot.
Yeah, I hear you. That's simple enough to do. We'll just call that area to be replaced with DG.
Yeah, and again, we're just making comments. And so what type are you gonna put, landscape, the plants that you're gonna use for landscaping, will they be drought resistant and so forth? John?
yeah,
Yeah, I think what we tried to do is match some of the plants that were used in the Broadway corridor, and then the DG would be, we would pick a similar color or the same color and gradation to match the decomposed granite that was used along Broadway. So yes, the plants are drought tolerant, and I believe this has gone through review at the city and the city landscape reviewer. And as Richard said, we only had a couple comments and they were non-landscape related, I believe, so.
Oh, good. Yeah, and we do have a subcommittee of the commission that does landscape review, but really only for like historic landscapes, like parks and things like that. But so I just felt like I had to ask a landscape question. And because I was interested. So okay, if we don't have anything else, then we wish you good luck with your project and thank you for coming through and being so well organized, and good luck with your little smoke shop.
well, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Good
Take
to
care.
see you, Richard.
Yeah, Savannah. Nice to see
Been a
you.
while.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Well, thank you, commissioners. And thank you, Desiree, for putting these interesting things on the agenda. Okay, item 4C is TDDEV 1223-00473/TC-COM-0724-01365 at 401 East 22nd Street. And this is another courtesy review. And it is to provide improvements to Santa Rita Park, new splash pad, playground, plaza area, perimeter multi-use path, comfort station, multi-purpose fields, and public art. This is a project update. We heard this at our May 8th, 2025 meeting. It's a capital improvement project, again, a courtesy review. And Desiree, please provide the update for us.
Yes, so this is coming to you again because we do have an update. So this initially came to you May 8th. So just a bit of background as a reminder. This Parks Improvement Project has been underway, I believe, since around 2021, and we do have park staff here, Matt Christman, to update us on the park project itself. But it had been underway. There, at some point, was, as part of the plan's decision to demolish the existing 1930s era bathhouse and pool at Santa Rita Park, which had been, I think it's been vacant for about 20 years. So there had been a lot of outreach on the park development kind of plans in general, but there wasn't really an evaluation of the buildings and structures for potential historic significance or eligibility as part of the planning process. So in late April, the Tucson Historic Preservation Foundation reached out to city staff to request review by PRS and request, essentially asking, was this evaluated for potential significance and eligibility? And again, at the time, it hadn't been. So park staff agreed to kind of pause planned demolition of that structure and building. And we brought the case to PRS. We also conducted a historic resource evaluation for the property. The initial evaluation had come back finding it ineligible. There, as part of the review process, we asked the applicant or the consultant to conduct additional research to look into potential social significance associations with the local African American and Mexican American communities. And so additional research was done. And so that revised evaluation is what was provided in your packet for today. The outcome was still a finding of ineligible, essentially that the history and the significance did not rise to the level of eligibility for the National Register. So at this point, park staff, had listened to PRS. I think they also went to landscapes and are still intending to include some of the recommendations that were made. However, the plan is still to demolish this existing structure. So that's essentially where we are at today. I wanted to invite Mr. Chrisman here to provide an update on, kind of next steps for the park project.
Thank you, Desiree. I will share my screen. Can you allow me to screen share, please?
Thanks, Desiree.
You're welcome. And one other thing, I think it's noted in the agenda, but this item will also be going to the Bond Oversight Committee meeting on July 21st. So just so you all are aware.
All right, can you see the timeline?
Yes.
So I just wanted to, I know that we came back in May and talked with you guys. I just wanted to give another timeline of the Santa Rita Park improvement. So we did 3 virtual meetings starting in January of 2021, June of 2021, and April of 22. And then we also did 3 in-person meetings out at Santa Rita Park, 2 in November of 21 and 1 in April of 22. And then we did 2 online surveys, June of 21, where we had 239 participants in that survey. And then in November of 2021, we had 375 individuals fill out the survey that we put out. Mayor and council adopted the Santa Rita Park master plan from the surveys that we did and the in-person meetings and virtual meetings that we had out at the park as well. And that was in August 9th of 22. And then from that master plan and the adoption of the master plan from mayor and council, we started preparation of construction documents beginning in early 2023. We conducted a playground survey in August of 23, where we had 154 participants in that survey. And then mayor and council approved closing 3rd Avenue to be a part of this project in August 8th of 2023. We finished the design process back in December of 2024. And then we went out to bid in January of 2025, did the bid opening March of 2025, awarded the contract in April of 2025, and that's when we did our groundbreaking in April of 2025. And then, like Desiree said, we did the historic review back in June of 2025. And then we did the further historical cultural review in July of 2025. So those are the 2 pieces that got added to this timeline since the last time I presented to you guys. And then when we met with your committee along with the landscape committee, it was brought up about the existing picnic tables out at that were by the pool area. So those are constructed with rebar coming out from the concrete slab. So we were asked to evaluate if we could just move them, but we would need like a crane at each corner and lift the whole slab with the picnic tables on it. So we've talked with the contractor and his subcontractor, and they're going to, we've taken pictures so they can redo or re-engineer, reconstruct those tables, and then we'll put it along the pathway and throughout the park as well. And then from the historic and cultural reports that have been given to us, we will design an interpretive panel that talks about the history of the pool that was there, and we would put the interpretive panel along the walking path that's going to be in that general area of where the pool would be. And then from there, we can, if you guys would like, we can come back when we're designing the interpretive panel for you to look at what the interpretive panel looks like, if there's any comments for language and that kind of stuff. So we can come back to you on that interpretive panel that would be in that general area where it would have the history of it, talking about it, and then some historic pictures that would be on the interpretive panel as well. And then another component to this park improvement is there's a public art component. And I briefly touched on it last time we talked. In partnership with the Arts Foundation, a subcommittee was created in 2024 to select an artist to create the public art pieces that would be out at Santa Rita Park. There was 14 individuals on the subcommittee. Of those 14, myself, our design consultant, and then members of the community and that neighborhood were on the subcommittee. The subcommittee met 5 times to get the final art pieces that would be installed at Santa Rita Park. So in those 5 meetings, we got bids, proposals from all the artists, and then we just kept on narrowing it down until one was selected.
Do you have a picture of what was selected, Matt?
What was that?
Do you have a picture of what was selected?
Yes, that's my next slide.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So this is one of the art pieces. It's a mosaic art piece. So when we were doing the art pieces, some of the individuals that were on the subcommittee said that baseball and women's softball was a big component to the park. So that's why you see the female on the left-hand side. We do have the skate park there. So a lot of people do the skating there. And then they said that it was a big family component to the park as well. So this is a mosaic that will be out at the park. Right now, it's gonna be by the playground area, the new playground area that is gonna be a part of the new plaza area where the big salt cedar tree was, right by the 3rd Avenue and the parking lot. That's where the new plaza is going to be, and that's where the new playground and splash pad would be in that area. And then the tiles along the perimeter that are orange, those are where individuals or students are going to make them, and then he's going to fire them and then install them. So it's local kids that are going to have that as the border for it as well.
Okay.
And then another component are these benches, talking about the history of the park, talking about the community, what they wanted for the beginning and the end. They wanted it to be generational. So on the green panel, you see individuals, family at the bottom, that there is somebody that's using a walker because they wanted to show that generational progression for the park as well. And these are made of metal, die cast, die cut, all of that. So, and these are the colors, green and like a purple. And then these are going to be installed around the playground area as well. And then by the mosaic, there's going to be an oral history component to it as well. And so the oral history project, so the artist that was selected is Oliverio Balsalis, and he's partnering with the Barrio Santa Rita West Ochoa Neighborhood Association and the Mexican American Heritage and History Museum to collect Tucsonans' memories and stories of Santa Rita Park. So if there's individuals that want to talk about anything in the park, if they want to talk about the pool, there's going to be a QR code on like a plaque type area that would be by the mosaic, and they can take the QR code and then hear the oral histories for the park. This is something that is unique from From my understanding, this is nothing like this has ever been done in at our park system to get the oral history. So I thought this was something that was very unique for the opportunity. So if there's any questions, I can take them now.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Matt, could you go back to the last slide, please? So,
Yeah.
tell me what material that's going to be on. No, the one with the scanning for oral histories.
It's going to be like on a plaque, so it can be it'll be like an interpretive panel where it's not it'll be sun resistant and all that, but it's a QR code that people will be able to scan. But it's going to be like a pedestal, or it'll be a post, and then it'll be like on a plaque for them to scan. It won't be into the mosaic.
Okay, and so there were no changes other than these interpretive things from what we saw previously when you showed that the little pool house would be demolished, right?
Correct.
Okay, and I want to make a comment. If you could go back to the timeline slide again, please.
Yes. Yep.
Now, Andrew and Desiree, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you've been having a conversation about the need to take a closer look at parks in terms of things that, might be of interest. Am I wrong in that, or you've been having these conversations, right? Like not just necessarily ones that are coming up for changes or whatever, right?
Yes, that is,
Yeah.
yeah, that is something that is on my wish list to do a park survey. And I've talked to parks about it. Ms. Jasmine Chan, the capital improvements manager, is certainly open to that. So I have a few ideas in mind of how to go about doing that. We don't have anything concrete yet, but yeah, would like to do that. I think, projects like this really show the need for that kind of proactive, early, surveying of parks, not only
Right.
specific buildings in the parks, but even the parks themselves.
Right. And over the years we've had, and that's a real positive sign because over the years we've had very inconsistent relationships with Parks and Rec. I mean, your office has had inconsistent relationships, like they sometimes consulted and they didn't, and then we get into these fixes, where it's like a seriously historic park like Armory Park, right? And it was just a nightmare. Like it was at one after the other. And I wanted to point out, and I appreciate this timeline, but what really struck me was that it's only on the final page, all this stuff had been done, surveys, master planning and so forth, and historic review only came in at the very end. Now, if the park had been evaluated, if concerns about its historic nature had been sort of put out there in the very beginning, there might have been a different outcome, right? And we've commented in the past about these surveys that there are no questions about, it's always about amenities, and it's not like a question, oh, hey, do you know your park is historic or has these historic aspects to it? Does that make sense? And we've commented on that several times, commissioners, if you'll recall that. And it just seems to me it would be great if we had an idea of the historicity of parks. And so thank you for that. I mean, does that make sense, Matt? I think that, your timeline just shows that perfectly, that no one
Right.
thought about it till the end. So it couldn't have been part of the master planning process or,
Right.
yeah. So any comments, Savannah or Andrew?
Yeah, I would agree with your comments there, Terry. I think it'd be, until we get to the point where we can do a full, comprehensive survey of the park system, just as a operating procedure, it'd be great to do these historic and cultural assessments up front in the design process Because I think a lot of people just aren't aware of the history of these parks too,
Right.
because a lot of them have been in such disrepair and not invested in like decades. So it's pretty easy to look at it and say, well, this is crappy, tear it down. If no one's kind of digging up the history of it and presenting that to people in a way that they can understand and make decisions around. So,
Mm-hmm. And, I do regret that, I appreciate that you all went through, meeting with Historic Landscape Subcommittee and taking the Tucson Historic Preservation Foundation's comments into, I met with us previously, but it's sort of sad that that it comes to this, and then, but I think the interpretive and other items and engaging the community in saying something about their park, it is, I think, important. So, Savannah, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with all that you guys have both said, and I would definitely support having you come back and having
Yes.
us review the interpretive panel or whatever gets decided for that area to commemorate what was there.
Yeah. And Matt, who are you going to have do that? I mean, are you having consultants work on that interpretive panel?
Yeah, so I've worked with, so I did improvements out at Rio Vista Park, and we hired Dennis Caldwell to do our trail map for out there. And I know that he has done interpretive panels throughout the country. So I would recommend, my recommendation would be to have him do it, and he's local. And the material that he uses, they have a warranty of 15 years on the material for sun rot and stuff. So he's very knowledgeable. So I would, I would, I think of him as an expert. So my recommendation would be to hire him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
is that Dennis Caldwell of Caldwell Watsa, or is it different Dennis?
I don't know. I know that he has his own, like I had to, it's his own art, like not an architect firm, but it's his own design
Gotcha.
company.
Okay.
Okay, well, we certainly look forward to seeing that. I mean, we've reviewed a bunch of interpretive things around the city, and it's always nice, to be able to see them. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if Savannah or Andrew, if you don't have any further comments, we can let Matt go with this, with our comments.
I'm
You guys good?
Yep. Thanks, Matt.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So it's Caldwell Design,
Yeah, I had the same question Andrew did, so I just looked it up. So
and he is there?
yeah, or you can see some of the work on his
Well, let me
website.
just make a note there. I want to look at the Caldwell Design. It's good to know.
Thanks, Savannah.
Oh, excuse me. All right. Thank you, Matt. We'll move on to item 5, which is National Register of Historic Place nomination. The Arizona Historic Sites Review Committee, HSRC, will review the nomination for this National Register nomination during its July 25, 2025 meeting. As a certified local government, the City of Tucson is afforded an opportunity to review and comment on the nomination. And this is for item 5A, Jostler, I can never say this, Lower Pobble House. How do we say that? Lower Pobble. Lower Pobble. Anyway, the Jostler L House at 306 North Longfellow Avenue. It's being nominated under Criterion C for architecture, and the period of significance is 1936, which I assume is the date of construction, and HSRC is liking dates of the constructions for these kinds of things. And so Desiree provided us this. Now, Desiree, could you answer one question? We had 2 preliminarily, what did we decide? That we would hear the other one later, or has it been pulled?
So the other one actually was already approved. It was sort of Bill Collins from SHPO had put it on the agenda as like a backup in case the keeper didn't approve it, but they did end up approving it, and the name is
Okay,
escaping
because I
me.
kind of remember that. I
Yeah.
remember that we looked
So
at
that's
that.
why, yeah, we did have 2 National Register nominations, but we didn't need to review it because it's already said and done. So I can send that to you all just if you're curious.
Yeah, and so Savannah, I know that you have been on plans review before when we've done National Register nominations,
Mhm.
but Andrew, you may not have been, correct? Right, and
Right.
so I had sent a motion. I know we've done more recently than 2023, but I found one for 2023 where, and Savannah, you made the motion, but at that time, Jody asked us to basically to say whether we supported the nomination or not, that the property was worthy of being nominated and so on. And maybe Desiree, you could pop that into the chat so people could just see that motion. I had suggested that maybe, and I don't know if you want this, Desiree, like, do we agree with the criterion C? I think we should be looking at, is it well supported? Are there any substantive errors that we noted? I did notice the typo, but HSRC has OCD folks on it and they'll catch that. So I'm not one of them, actually. I know that hard to believe, but anyway, so do you want to give us some background? Are you presenting this? You bring it up for us to scroll
Yes,
through?
I'll
Yes.
bring it up.
We don't have the preparer, and I noticed, interestingly enough, the preparer owns the property, correct?
Yeah, I noticed that too. Looks like
Yeah, and
they live there maybe, or at least they own it.
yeah, and what's interesting is that I think they were supported definitely by THPF, but I mean, supported in the sense of encouraged or whatever, because this property sounds very familiar to me. And you guys don't remember this, but it's very painful for me to think about the Jostler days at HSRC, where it took 7 years for this multiple property listing to go through. 7 years of meetings. And I can't remember if multiple people worked on it, and it might have been even when Jim Garrison was still SHPO, and then it turned out, I think Bill Collins had to rewrite the whole thing. So it's like so nice to see something cleanly come out and apply to that multiple property nomination. And I just wish, I never would wish that on any of you to have to go through that.
Can you explain that a little, Terry? So was this property included in that, and now it's coming through as individual?
Well, no, I can't remember if it was not considered under that, or what happened was that they created the multiple property listing, and then there were so many Jostler properties coming to the fore in Tucson, and that was the suggestion for being easily able to deal with them. And now
Okay.
there aren't, at that time, which was probably 15 or more years ago now, people didn't really have the experience of thinking through how a multiple property nomination was going to help you in terms of the character defining features that had to be talked about in very objective, well, insofar as National Register evaluations can be objective, you know what I mean? But pretty objective, like with actual things to look about, not flowery superlatives. Now, this is a beautiful window design. Well, that doesn't help us. But you know what I'm saying? And I felt terrible for the architects that worked on this early on, because it wasn't an operational kind of thing. And then it turned into one. It was a huge education, not only for the preparers, but for HSRC and SHPO, like how these, if you go to them and say, I want to do a multiple property nomination, you need to be sure that they can give you the appropriate advice on it. Does that make sense? And I think that now they could. In the past 10 years, we've learned some things, and there was a huge pressure on Tucson to nominate these properties. A lot was going on in that foothills area where they were doing property splits and all these kinds of things. And because the Jostler properties were located, landscaped in a certain way, or positioned on lots in a certain way, that something like a lot split became a huge issue for potential ability to be nominated in integrity. I don't know if that made sense, but we can talk more about it offline sometime, but it was, anyway, it's nice to see something come through that has benefited from that anguish. So,
Yes, and it does look like it's already been designated locally. So it does have the local historic landmark designation. So
and do we know why, Desiree, do we know why that is? That was it not listed previously because of age or because of some integrity issue? Do we know the history of that? Because, when they first used the landmarking stuff for things that couldn't get listed.
right. I don't know, and it's a good question. My guess is that it was designated locally as a landmark under that multi-property documentation submittal. And now it's coming back as an individual designation. That's
I
my
think
best
it's just
guess.
the opposite. I think it was
Really?
landmarked as an individual property
Before
because
the
the
multi-property.
Tucson landmark has nothing to do with a National Register nomination, because we've landmarked things that for some reason couldn't or wouldn't be listed in the register. Does that make sense? Because is that what you're saying? It's a landmark as opposed to a local designation, right?
Well, it's a local landmark, so it does have the local zoning overlay. Yeah.
But it's different than, does that make sense to everyone? I think that landmarking early on was used because things weren't getting listed. They
I
were
see.
either too recent or they were controversial.
Okay. I'll have to get the history. Let you
Yeah.
guys know next time.
But I'm just curious, but it's fine. I mean, we should evaluate this based on its merits.
Yeah, so I did have a chance to read through it. I really don't have any substantive comments. Most of my comments were clarity, like a little bit, there's some things mentioned, but like Fort Laurel Arts Colony, but there's nothing that describes it, things like that. A North Arrow, some of the description and the photos, and the
Nice.
plans, not totally clear of like what building, where is this building, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I can go through these, but they're really not anything substantive.
Yeah, let's just scan through them like you're doing. These are very helpful because you don't expect every member of HSRC to be intimately familiar with Jostler buildings, right? And so I think that, if you provided this marked up version and any other comments we had to Bill, I think it would be very helpful for him.
Okay. Yeah, and like they described the addition, but like there wasn't a photo, things like that.
That's what I was curious about.
Yeah.
The addition, or at least even a plan diagram or something showing, the proportions of the existing to the, to that addition.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on the north side of the house, right? The addition. I couldn't.
I think
Well, we have
so.
some. Don't we have a plan or a site plan? I think I recall seeing one when I looked at it.
There's
Why don't we go to that? And I'm trying to remember if I've seen this before. in some version of its life.
Probably.
But and I
Okay.
apologize. I'm not brain dead. It's just there's a lot in my poor old brain. Let's see. Okay, so the addition is.
I think the addition is where that we're on that north side, which is to the right, which says porch. Yeah,
This-
because if you go to the next page, you can kind of see how that expanded out and made it, yeah, kind of a great room right there.
Okay, and all that, the wing stuff to the left of this image, that was all original? But the
Yeah,
porch was
it's
expanded.
the largest interior rectangle on the north, which is to the right. That was the addition.
Yeah, and I think they really do need some directional arrows. Sometimes I see that in nominations and it's troubling that I can't orient myself well. Except they do have the arrow there on the left, but I guess we're
Oh, right.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was my question? Did anyone have an issue about the wall?
The wall. Oh, the site wall?
Yeah, that's all around the whole thing.
What kind of issue do you
Well,
mean?
does it look like a 4 foot? I can't see how high it is. I'm not remembering that now.
They call it out as like 4 to 5 feet high.
I think where it steps up there.
Yeah,
So-
that's
So
that's
you
always
could,
a contentious thing. The
yeah, so
site
you could
walls.
see it. You can see it if you wouldn't have to just stand at the front entry. You could actually see it, peek over it, or sit on your
Yeah,
dad's shoulders if you're a kid.
yeah. It looks like it steps up in height on. I guess that would be where is that? The west side,
Behind it, you mean the back of the house?
or
The
is
west
that
being kind of
sorry?
like yeah.
So or sorry, I guess the south side, like where the garage is. It looks higher there, and the portion in front does look pretty low. I think the only thing that really jumps up is like the little pilasters at the entry, the main entrance. But everything along Longfellow looks pretty low, and then it goes up in height at the garage side.
I mean, are you asking Terry if it's an issue to include it or?
No, I wanted to be sure that you didn't have any issues with it, because it may come up at HSRC. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
It's actually, well, the photographs are amazing. Okay. I think, they remind me of the photographers that my realtor hired to photograph my house up by Tohono Tool Park before I sold it. It looked 100 times better than it really did. And, but these are the photographers that we always use at the awards ceremony. For years, we've used them, and they're really talented, but, it really shows a lot of good stuff. So any other issues? I mean, do we feel that it's a good discussion justification for criterion C? And what about the integrity issues?
The integrity issues being potentially the addition or?
Yeah, that could be a question. And what did you think about that, Desiree?
That to me doesn't impact the eligibility. And we think the original form and details are still there. So it's not an issue to me.
I think it's sort of part of the story too, because the architect was a mentee of Jostler, is that right?
Correct. And this was Jostler's home, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. But the addition was after. his residence there, right?
But it was, I guess the question would be, is it compatible and does it, I don't think it's incompatible. I mean,
I
I don't
agree.
think,
I think it's fine.
yeah, I don't think it affects the integrity.
Yeah.
And is the integrity statement strong?
I think it's strong. I actually think it's more detailed than I'm used to seeing. Going, they kind of talk about the standard, like they reference the
Oh,
Secretary
yeah,
of the
that
Interior
is,
standards. It's more than what I'm used to seeing.
but then there's that area where there's a summary, isn't it just that shorter paragraph? I forget what page that's on. Yeah, maybe not though. Yeah, and so they're drilling down on registration requirements and so forth. The statement of significance, let's look at that puppy.
And maybe I missed this, just wasn't sure if it's clear. Since you mentioned the site, well, that would be included as part of the house, right? It's mentioned,
I think
so
so.
therefore it's included. Okay.
Well, I mean, we'd have to look at the boundary too.
Well,
And is
I
it,
guess what I was trying to get at is it was the boundary, the property line and everything within it. Any
yeah, because
structure within it.
there was a question that Desiree had in the margin about the view shed. I mean, let's maybe look at the boundary, the site boundary. There should be a map showing that, right?
Do you know if it's at the end? I don't want to make everyone sick. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I
Fast scrolling.
I had a nausea gummy before the meeting. No,
No,
I
it's
discovered
not
these
there.
I discovered these in Australia. They're
Oh, really?
like they have ginger in them and they're amazing.
Oh,
So
I need some of those.
I told my daughter about them because she has children that are prone to starfishes. Ooh, there's a picture of it with the nice.
Okay, let's see. Maybe I just do this.
And there should be a boundary justification, right? But
Yeah.
I just don't remember
Mm.
reading anything specifically about it.
It's pretty
boundaries.
short.
No, is that boundaries?
But it
Yeah.
is, the walls are all in the diagram, so.
I mean, that could be something that we asked to elaborate, but they don't really talk about boundaries. Like they talk about view sheds, but
Yeah, that was a
right?
good comment. So as indicated above, some of the outlying acreage of the property was split and sold off over the years. See, that's what I was saying. In this case, as is, I can't see, required, the original view shed both as is required. Is that what that second line says?
Those are required, yeah.
Yeah, the original view shed, both of and from the property are preserved and as such considered eligible. And I apologize, I don't print out these long things to give my printer extra life. So, and,
Yeah, it does look like that wall changed at some point. There's like the 1936 aerial photo that's really great. And it's like super rectilinear. At some point it was maybe expanded out the back.
but
Maybe
so,
the comment would be clarify
Right.
the boundary of for the nomination.
yeah,
Mhm.
but doesn't that appear somewhere else at the beginning of the nomination, the whole boundary justification? And the thing is, this sort of brings up what I mentioned before, that some of these they had to be careful about how they talked about the landscape and the view shed because so much had been sold off. And okay, the boundary matches those of the subject lot. Well, it's the reduced subject lot, probably, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This attached site map, but did we see a site map? Maybe we didn't get it.
Yeah, we should get the USGS map or equivalent.
'Cause these
I'm
are
not
just
seeing-
photos. I don't know if I saw
Unless
a
it's-
map.
Yeah, I think a modern aerial that shows the pool and all that kind of stuff to, would it include the, it wouldn't include the pool, but you want to preserve, I mean, that archway is right potentially on the boundary. So you want
Yeah,
to preserve
thank you.
some portion beyond that.
And it would be
Well,
helpful just
yeah.
to document like the whole parcel, right? What is all on the parcel today?
Right, and did they submit everything to us? Or did SHPO not even receive the location map? Does that make sense? And
Mhm.
because they talk in that one area about that it's associated with his Jostler's landscape planning and all that, but isn't C for the work of a master architect or for the architecture, right?
Mhm.
So that's sort of a little A-ish to me, but they're not. I mean, it's fine to mention that, but they never mention that it should be A. But, and HSRC and the keeper don't like using multiple criteria.
Mhm.
So anyway, what comments would we like Desiree to include from us in addition to hers? I mean, that might be moving toward like a motion that she could cite if she wanted.
I mean, I think Savannah's initial comment about maybe some sort of diagram explaining that addition, and then in that you could maybe capture some of the changes to the perimeter wall, just to have some like physical diagram of that evolution.
Okay, and then clarify boundary and justification. Is that what you're thinking, everyone?
Boundary, what do you mean by justification? Like
Well, you have to justify your boundary. It's like,
okay.
especially I'm concerned about, clearly when they talk about it being on the lot line, it's the current lot line. It's not the lot line when it was constructed. So, I mean, I don't have an issue with that. I mean, because we see properties that have had their surrounding area, reduced, considerably.
Mhm.
I mean, otherwise we wouldn't have National Register listed properties 1 story next to a skyscraper, right? I mean, because the question could be brought up about, does it have its, integrity of landscape or setting, is what I meant to say. I feel that it does, actually. I mean, even if it's a reduced setting.
Mhm.
And they said the views were. So, any other changes? I mean, are we generally supportive of the C nomination?
Yeah.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the right one.
Okay. Do we want to just, did you share that in the chat, that other motion just so people could see it?
Oh, yeah,
Desiree?
let me do that.
Yeah, I should have been thoughtful enough to send it to you prior to 5 minutes before the
No,
meeting.
it's fine. So those are the notes I've been taking during the discussion, and then this is a motion from another example, a previous motion that you all have made before.
Okay, am I seeing it? No. Oh, wait. Here we go. If we click on that. So this was for, remind us again what this Savannah's motion in 23 was for.
Yeah, let me pull it up. This was for. Oh, was this Wilshire Heights? This is Wilshire Heights, the one we were
Yeah.
just talking about.
Yeah.
That's why I was confused. Like, wait a minute.
So that one, I mean, that was a while ago. So it got approved, and it was supposed to come back to us just in case it wasn't.
I think I don't know if it was ever approved at that time.
Oh,
And so
I see.
there were issues in the nomination. This is according to Bill. And so it just never actually made it all the way.
Well,
There
usually,
was
yeah, go ahead.
what changed about it that then got it all the way? Do you happen to know if they had to?
I think there might have been like some, I don't know if there were factual errors or something like that, but yeah, I don't recall. I don't think he did send me the revised version, so I'll send it out, but I don't know
Yeah,
exactly what
see,
happened.
we wouldn't see it again, Savannah. What happens is that HSRC in the past used to reject more nominations, but if we really feel it should go through, we kind of say, Bill, you've heard us, and then Catherine, the SHPO, summarizes the comments, and then staff will make those, and we say we want to see it again or we don't want to see it again as HSRC. And what's funny is that we don't want to see something just for editing, but if let's say the keeper says, oh, I don't believe it's a C, it needs to be an A, or, we hate it, or, we reject it, or, we try to make it, because we really trust staff a lot, in terms of we don't need to micromanage that process. Does that make sense? So with this, I just can't remember because it's been a while. And it would be, I think, informative to sort of just have a chat with Bill and say, what took this one so long, to get through? Because it could have been the nominator not making the changes, sending it back to him for copy editing or whatever. It just didn't get done. And that, there's many factors that could delay something's acceptance. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Thanks for that. Yeah, I was just curious mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So I think-
looking
yeah.
back at the emails just if you're curious on that one. He didn't go into the details, but I think it was HSRC was hesitant to move it forward, the Wilshire Heights one, but I don't know why.
And HSRC rarely does that in case there were so many errors, or just inconsistencies or whatever. So, but anyway, it just happenstance that I found this one to use as an example for a motion. But it's just to show, we need to say that we support the application or the nomination, under criterion C, and then maybe point out these two other issues, or 3, diagram explaining addition. And we need really a location map, right? We don't really have that, or it wasn't received, possibly, right, Desiree? And then the changes, discuss the changes to the perimeter wall, clarify the boundary and justification, location map, and so on. So I think really that's all we need to see, because then Desiree will you'll forward that with your own comments too, right?
Yes.
And I really think you should send maybe some of these other points that we made, you know, good justification, da 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 da. So, but we can, which ones do you want us to mention? Just those four in our motion?
Yeah, I think those are,
I only wrote down 3. I have current location map, a plan diagram of the additions and the perimeter wall changes over time, and then the clarify the boundary and justification. Was there one
Yeah,
more?
so that's 4. So that's
Oh, okay.
4,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. right? And the location map, I had forgotten to add that. So I think that this is a good analysis, and, you know, Desiree, you've done a great job of pointing out some stuff that could be very helpful. And I myself will review that before HSRC.
thanks.
But this isn't, I forget, it's not like an official action taken. Do we vote on it?
Yeah, we voted on it last time, and basically, I would just say in regard to the Jocelyn Low Pablo House at 306 North Longfellow Avenue, the you know, the National Register nomination made under criterion C, and then move that we support the nomination package, right? The nomination. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because basically we're taking advantage of the opportunity because Tucson is a CLG for Desiree to kindly bring it to our attention and, you know, review. We didn't always do it this way with the commission. And doing it through plans review is a much more consistent approach than just getting a volunteer from the commission to look at it.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah, it's good to get multiple perspectives.
Yeah.
Eyes on it.
Okay, Savannah, are you moving to the
Yeah.
motion?
Yeah.
Okay, I figured you were. You had that look.
It's a little different, so I'm just trying to figure out word order. Okay, just give me a second. Okay. So it wouldn't be I move to approve though. It's just I move to
Support the application.
support.
To support.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm ready for this. Regarding the Jostler Laperable House, I move to support the National Register nomination application under criterion C with the following comments. That a current location map be provided, that a plan diagram of the additions and the perimeter wall changes over time be provided, as well as clarifying the boundary and justification.
And a location map?
I said
She
that,
said
didn't
that.
I?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Did you say that already?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, Andrew, do you second?
I do.
Yeah, and could you email us that motion?
Yes.
And then also the one for 4A, right? Because the other two are courtesy.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
can do that.
okay, and all right, any other discussion on that motion? Okay, if not, Carrie votes aye. Savannah?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Great, thank you. It passes 3-0. So Desiree, I hope that's helpful.
Yes,
And
very helpful. Thank you.
and you know, I think it would be useful for plans review members. Obviously, I'll see it. I'll see your letter. as part of HSRC, but it would be nice, because this is a great thorough review, that you've already come up with. So thank you.
Welcome.
We should all appreciate that. So, okay, let's move on to item 6, current issues for info discussion. 6A is minor reviews.
Yes, I know Michael's generally good about providing you specifics. I really don't have specifics other than we have a lot of minor reviews to do. We are a bit behind because Michael is out. The good news is we do have, well, aside from Michael coming back in a couple weeks, we also have a new staff member joining us on Monday. So, it'll take time to get him up and running as well, but hoping things will be moving more smoothly soon. But yeah, I don't really have any specific updates on really item 6A through 6C. Just that
So
we're working
no
on things.
appeals, no report on the appeals, or none at this time? On the
None at
first
this
6A?
time. No appeals.
Okay, and then the usual language for zoning violations that staff is working them.
Yeah, we had that one today, so that is great. That's been on our docket for a while. So that one, that was a big decision today to get that moving forward. So, yeah, other than that, I'm not working on any
So,
other.
so the new compliance specialist, isn't that what you told me is starting soon?
So the one starting on Monday, his name is Jason Lilienthal. He will be a historic preservation lead planner, so similar to Michael. So essentially, we're going to be kind of the work that Michael does on the reviews will be, now we'll have 2 people to help with that and help with support the advisory board meetings. So, which is very, very needed. So
Yeah, because you'll miss going to all of them, won't you? Just kidding. No, but it's really important that you have some support. And so
yeah.
will Michael still be doing, like working with this person to train him up on minor reviews and all that?
Yes, and Michael will still be doing, the same type of work he's doing. It's just, yeah, rather than one person, it all falling, on his shoulders. We'll now have 2 people. And the cultural compliance position, we still are in the recruitment process. So, or interviewing process, I should say. So that one, hopefully in August. Hopefully the next time we meet, maybe I'll have some good news to share. But at least, yeah, August, early fall.
Is the cultural compliance your archaeologist position?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. I'm excited. This has been a long
Yes.
time coming. And okay, so for item 6D, review process issues, I just wanted to mention in vague terms that you will all understand that I'm working potential additional member for PRS.
Good.
But no one heard from Joel at all, right? Like we have our meeting, our full commission meeting tomorrow. I've not heard from him. No one heard from him on PRS, correct?
No.
Okay, so my plan, I'm going to call and leave a message on his phone, or I may try his home phone and see if someone else answers. Because I think, tell me if you think that I'm wrong in doing this. I think I need to find out what's going on with poor Joel. If he's going to be, and couch it in a way, I don't want to invade his privacy, but I just need to know if he's going to be able to continue on the commission and on PRS. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it would be better coming from me than, let's say, from, the city clerk or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like it's just, he's a member of the commission with additional duties than just a member who doesn't sit on subcommittees and stuff like
Right.
that. So, okay, very good. I will do that. New PRS. Anyone else have a review process issue?
Not an issue. I just wanted to see where we were with something. I think Desiree, I don't know if you were here yet at this point, but we talked to Dan a while back about possibly adding like a historic compliance inspection to like the
Mhm.
building permit
Yeah.
workflow. Have you all given any thought to like if that's
Mhm.
possible, or because you guys are
Yes.
overworked anyway, so.
We have talked about that. We do currently have an inspector. His name's Rick Saldata, who has been helping us, but it's more kind of as needed. And so he works, with us but it's more reactionary, right? Like we hear a complaint and we just send him out. Um, and so we have talked about creating a more formalized inspections for historic properties, more of like a design focused inspection, because right now our inspections are focused on building safety.
Mhm.
So yeah, we are talking about that. We've met with our inspections team, so they're open to it. So it's still in the works. I think from my perspective, I have my priority right now is really streamlining, improving our minor review process. I think that's where we have the biggest issues right now, but that is something that we eventually will get going.
Cool.
Yeah. And I think the problems with the minor review process are simply lack of staff and not enough people on plans review. I mean, it's always gone very smoothly when, more smoothly, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there are opportunities to improve the actual application process, or the application materials and kind of instructions. And, we get a lot of questions, kind of repeated questions. And so there are certain things that seem to be, barriers or confusing, or people can't find information, right? So a lot of that is not
Right.
even necessarily, the process in our code. It's just how the operationalization of that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think when you get to that point, if we could have a little discussion, not that we have a lot of free time on PRS, but it would be nice just to know what the issues are for a review process for minor reviews, like what are people saying, so that we can be aware of that, because many of us help with those, right? So it's kind of nice to know. But thank you for looking into that.
yeah.
And
And I will
people
say the best part, the part that's working the best is Andrew is fantastic within super fast and or responsive in his review. So I really
he
appreciate
is
that.
that. He is that.
Yes.
I noticed that. So thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
And thanks, Savannah, too, for being a trooper, and
I
okay.
haven't done a minor review in a long time. Sorry. Thanks, Andrew.
No, but we have these long meetings and they're good, and you guys are so great about being willing to move the days and stuff. I really appreciate that. So, and I do want to get a little pat on the back for getting up at 4:30 in the morning on my vacation and having the meeting.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we did
Thank
great.
you.
No, but I mean, I was shocked, because if it had happened when I was in New Zealand, I couldn't have done it, because it would have been like 2:30 in the morning or something. So I don't think I can be like lucid at 2:30 in the morning since I was like 18 maybe. So all right.
I noticed actually on review process, I noticed the public comments moved up in the agenda.
Oh yeah, we talked about that, and I thought that was a good idea, because we
It
could
makes
theoretically,
sense.
yeah, we could just move them and say we're taking them early, but this way we don't forget. You know what I'm saying? It's
I like
like,
that.
not that we would forget. Yeah, it's good. It was. See, you read the agenda. I'm always so pleased when people read agendas, and it's like, because I had an event subcommittee meeting this morning, and it's like, what? Like, they're like, are we going to talk about this? Or they talk about an item, like 3 items before it's, anyway. Item 7, future agenda items. What are we looking at on the 22nd?
Yeah, so the one note about that, normally you would have met on the 24th. We are meeting the 22nd instead because of that HSRC meeting happening on the 25th, and to give SHPO staff time if we do have comments on some of the other items. So for that 22nd, the meeting on the 22nd, there are a few HSRC meeting items that we're going to be bringing. So there are
Are there
some
eligibility issues, changes in eligibility and so forth?
changes in
Uh-huh.
eligibility. And then in terms of the review, project review, there's a residential pool in the side yard. So Armory Park already saw that, but that is coming to you. So it's a pool in the side yard, and then fence, and then some changes to the facade, minor changes to the facade, but that's that project. And then 724 North 2nd Avenue, it's an interior renovation with exterior impact. So that's a pretty extensive remodel project that also already went to West University, and it will be coming to you. And it's largely a lot of accessibility kind of upgrades to the home, and also just the home needs a lot of love. I actually went to see it, and so there's a lot proposed, so that will be could be
A longer review.
a longer review.
So we're going to just have those 2 cases and the HSRC items.
Yes, and then the one item I'm not sure yet. I need to check in with the project sponsor. There's that All Saints Apartments project in Armory Park, and I'm not sure if they want to come back on the 22nd, or we'll find a different day, but that's a potential.
We've seen that before.
You have seen it? Okay.
An iteration of it, at least a year ago, maybe longer.
Okay.
Do you remember, Terry?
Yeah.
I think Bill was on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. So I hope to have an update for you by that meeting. Well, about a potential new PRS member, but they wouldn't be appointed until August, I would think. Because if I could convince him to sit in on the 22nd, but then our next meeting after that is when? It's August. It would be, I don't have my calendar in
Is
front
this
of me.
someone we would vote in potentially tomorrow?
No,
Oh,
because I haven't had
okay.
a chance to bend their arm enough yet.
Okay.
So the following
Got
meeting
it.
would be August 14th.
And then when is the second Wednesday? Is it the 13th? Yes. So full commission is the 13th. PRS is the 14th. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because if I'm able to, it kind of depends on, I kind of want to know what Joel's doing too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, I'll keep
Okay.
you guys posted.
Okay. I will say the Fox Theater is looking to come back on August 14th.
Oh,
So that
Right.
would be, yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. And then we're gonna see Teatro Carmen for courtesy at some point.
Yes, August 28th. The agendas are filling up.
Oh, they are. Why
Is
can I not? Oh,
is Teatro Carmen your project, Savannah?
Yes, not personally, but
Okay.
others in my office. So yeah, we definitely need someone
Yeah.
to fill in while I recused.
because we couldn't go down to 2, right?
Is that right?
Yeah. And
If we're
I
only
mean,
3?
unless PRS goes down to 3, then we could do 2. Or we need to go to 4 so that we have a third.
Well, I think what we need to do is if we can't get another person, I think Joel has to come off in August.
Yeah.
And so if I can resolve things before that, otherwise we go to 3 and then there we are.
Yeah.
Because at some point Savannah has to recuse, and it's actually miraculous that you haven't had to recently. Right, but it could be any time. So let's keep that in mind. Thank you, Andrew, for that. No,
Trying to think, we've got Fort Lowell too. I don't know if that's coming in anytime soon, but
have you
Yeah.
heard anything about that?
Yeah, so we can, or I can give an update. So we're gonna do that as a minor review. There are some,
okay.
you're referring to commissary and Donaldson
Mhm,
House, right? Yeah.
mhm.
So that's gonna be reviewed as a minor review. There have been some changes, requested changes or identified changes needed through the construction, rehab process. So that will be a minor review happening next week, and then they'll be going to present kind of a general update to the advisory board the end of the month. So you can also come to PRS if you all would like. That would just be, I think, a general update rather than a review.
We could have it as a no action item, so you would you have to recuse, Savannah?
If there's no action, you tell me. I think I
I don't
could
know, I
just.
think Desiree would have to ask about that, but okay, so what we could do tomorrow is I could email Joel and text him and say, we're gonna have to remove you tomorrow from PRS. And then, if you're able, how to say it in a way, if you're able to rejoin at some point, we can do that. I mean, has it
That
been,
sounds fair.
has it been quite a few meetings?
Yeah, it's been at least 3.
Yeah. I think there's probably a defined number in the,
No, there isn't. There isn't one
oh, there's no,
for,
oh,
there is for, missing meetings, and and he's a county appointee, so it never used to be an issue for the county, but now it is. So he may be approaching that as well. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So,
that's what I was thinking, because most
yeah,
of the boards and commissions have yeah, it's if you miss X amount, you are removed, so.
yeah. So I think, and you guys tweak me tomorrow if I forget it, but I'm gonna put it on my agenda notes now that we have to,
Okay.
and especially, I'm sure I haven't heard from him about tomorrow's meeting. So then we're down to 3 and we're less problematic, right? Because
Yeah,
because Desiree, you wouldn't put cases on, well, no, I mean, even if Andrew had a case, then Savannah could come back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like at the same time
Yeah.
that she had a case. Does that make sense? We've
Mhm.
done that before,
Yeah.
or in the old days. But,
It's only
I'm really,
Andrew and I have
Mhm.
to work on something together, and then we could really
oh,
throw a
don't mess me
coffin.
up. So, but, and we'll find someone sometimes. I mean, it would be not good to find someone who wasn't really suited for plans review, shall we say,
Mhm.
yeah,
Anyway, you guys are terrific, and, I'm gonna go ahead and adjourn the meeting unless there's something else at 2:49, and then Desiree, you'll let me know when you think you might be able to get me